Welcome dear students. In previous lecture we can see the important properties of water that makes the water unique from other solute or liquids. Then water absorbing regions of the root or plant. Different types of waters that are available or non-available to the roots. Now here we can discuss the absorption of water by roots from soil. You are familiar with that. Roots here absorb water by three physical processes that occur sequentially, that is imbibition, diffusion and osmosis. We can see or discuss on the imbibition first, or the first process, physical process that carried out during the absorption of water by root hairs. The absorption of water by hydrophilic compounds is called imbibition. What is imbibition? The absorption of water by hydrophilic compounds, that is called imbibition. In this process, water molecules get tightly absorbed on the surface of the compounds without forming a solution. What happened in the imbibition? The water molecules get tightly absorbed on the surface of the compounds without forming a solution. Due to the imbibition, these compounds show swelling. The swelling of the surface is occurred because of that imbibition. You can say that in rainy season, wooden doors are swelled because of that imbibition, because that wood is a hydrophilic substance and that absorbs water, and the water molecules are tightly held on the surface of the water and surface of the door, and because of that the door becomes swell. This imbibition is first physical process involved in the absorption of water, and the same process is happened in root hairs. Then next stage, the diffusion, or next process, physical process that carried out during the water absorption is diffusion. Diffusion means disperse. Diffusion can be defined as the movement of ions or atoms or molecules of a substance from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. What is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of ions or molecules or atoms from higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, that is known as diffusion. The movement is due to the kinetic energy of the molecules. Every atom or molecules have a kinetic energy, you know that. And because of that kinetic energy, the movement of water molecules is carried out. Diffusion continues till the equilibrium is attained. When both the sides of concentration of ions are same, then the equilibrium is attained and then the diffusion is stopped. Thus, water passes into the cell diffusion through a freely permeable cell wall. You know that cell wall is freely permeable. Water is at the interface of the cell wall and plasma membrane. In the diffusion, what happens? The ions or the water molecules or the atoms of the water molecules move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. The water present outside the root hairs or in the soil have a higher concentration than the water molecules that are present inside the roots or root hairs, and because of that the water molecules moves towards the lower concentration, because that water molecules have a kinetic energy, and that movement is occurred due to that energy. When equilibrium attained, then the diffusion is stopped. That diffusion results, the water molecules absorb or diffuse into the root hairs have stored in between the cell wall and cell membrane. That result in diffusion pressure, that is dP in short form, that result in the diffusion pressure, which is directly proportional to the number of diffusing particles. Diffusion pressure is directly proportional to the diffusing particle. That diffusion pressure of a pure solvent, that is the water, is always more than the diffusion pressure of the solvent in the solution. The difference in the diffusion pressure of the pure solvent and the solvent in a solution is called diffusion pressure deficit. The diffusion pressure of the solvent, that is the pure solvent, always more than the diffusion pressure of the solvent in the solution, and that difference is known as the diffusion pressure deficit or suction pressure. And that is suction pressure or diffusion pressure deficit is coined by the B.S. Mayer in 1938. Nowadays it is termed as water potential and used for DPD, diffusion pressure deficit, or water potential. That water potential is the actual thrust of the cell, which it absorbs water from the surrounding. And because of that water deficit, is the actual the thrust of the plants that absorb the water. Water around the cell wall has more diffusion pressure than the cell shaft, hence water moves in the cell by diffusion. Then next process, physical process that carried out is the osmosis. In next period, we will going to discuss on the osmosis, the next physical process that is carried out sequentially during the absorption of water by the plant. Thank you.